It's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we are grateful to have Eris doing the Modly things. And we have, let's see, Farrell and Snivels and Peace Peony and JKD Buck. Yes, Fry. Yes, you are right here. There is no food on the dresser. There's no food on the keyboard. That is a hair scrunchie. No, for the love of Cheetos. Frybert, it is not there is no food up here. Our first story, unfortunately, ET did not call, but we did receive a message from 10 million miles away, probably asking about our car warranty. Hello, have you heard about our car warranty? Yes, Pixie, he has gotten big. Let's see here. How is this for a long distance call? The National Aeronautics and Space Administration has managed to beam a laser from the vast reaches of space to Southern California in what it was a historic event, sir, last week. It's also a big step towards sending astronauts to Mars. Um, I have, why don't we send jerk faces to Mars? Let's not send astronauts. Astronauts know math and crap. I mean, why are we sending smart people to Mars? It seems like we would send dumb people to Mars first. I'm just saying, the population density. We're always talking about overpopulation, and we're not sending dumb people to Mars. I don't know. It seems like we have a lot of people who maybe would love a chance to go to Mars. Yeah, I still need to do that Columbia. Sirbert, take a treat and go to your mat, you ding dong. You're a terror. You're a terror. NASA's Deep Space Optical Communications, or DSOC, fired an infrared laser encoded with data for testing 10 million miles away from Earth in about 50 seconds. Wait a minute. So, does this mean that we could have figured out what that space balloon was before it got all the way across America? Hmm. He is a cute terror. He is. Well, I pick my time right. It is what it is. Everyone has a talent. Frybert, you better not get what is sir? You have all the zoomies and all the ridiculousness tonight. No, this is not happening. No, I've already been exposed to Jody degeneracy today. I'm not doing this. Uh, let's see. The Photon was emitted from NASA's unmanned Psyche spacecraft, which was launched in October and on its larger mission to explore a metal-filled comet between Mars and Jupiter in the asteroid belt in 2028. The breakthrough, which was sent to the Hale telescope at Caltech's Palomar Observatory in San Diego, was the farthest demonstration of optical communications ever, according to NASA. Well, but these are the same people that said we landed on the moon and the Earth is round. I mean, it's all a conspiracy to me. Now let me sell you this colloidal silver. I really do need to get a tinfoil hat at some point. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Well, it was Nick and I, so we got off track. Yeah, there was just a lot of getting off track as far as I remember. Oh, we talked about how she adjusted a lot of people, and then she kind of, um she went on, we discussed ninjas. It's not ever smart if you're gonna unalive people. I mean, I'm not throwing this out here to help, and I give no legal advice because, like I said, I'm only on Post-it 1 of Daryl Brooks' Learn to Legal Law, legal compendium to add to Brown's, legal dictionary. But, if you're gonna do a 48 hours interview in which you talk about ninjas, doing the unaliving. It could look bad if that was perhaps a lie, when you're on the stand. Good evening, excited utterance and Slinky. Uh, Putting it in perspective, the moon is a mere 2,389,000 miles away from our pale blue dot. Uh, it achieved what space experts dubbed, quote, first light early on November 14th, which when the laser's high-tech transceiver successfully locked onto another NASA facility in the Golden State. After linking with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory outside of LA, the laser was then able to finally focus on its course southbound to San Diego. Interesting. So there's a lot of math involved here. The laser's successful blast is an instrumental step in getting closer to in person deep space explorations, according to NASA's Director of Technology Demonstrations, Trudy Cortez. So, this apparently is going to help them because communications slow exponentially when you are in the space. So they need a way to send large amounts of data, especially for fine tuning, telemetry, and all that. Look, lots and lots of math stuff that I'm not even going to get into because y'all, little Mo decided first she wanted to be, well, she wanted to be an astronomer. Or I wanted to look at all the planets and look at planetary stuff. And then I realized it was all effing math. So then I decided I wanted to be a biologist, and guess what else? Math. And then I was like, I would like to work with chemistry. Again, math. So now I'm just a redhead who mouths off on the internet. No math. Achieving first light is one of the many critical DSOC milestones in the coming months, paving the way towards higher data rate communications capable of sending scientific information, high definition imagery, and streaming video support of humanity's next giant leap. Let's be honest, they just want to be able to send prawn to the astronauts. Look, it's lonely up in space. You may need some time alone to maybe see stepmothers stuck in wash machines and or pizza delivery boys getting unexpected tips. This is the only reason the Jet Propulsion Laboratory is in any way moving forward. I love that all of humanity's, forward leaps in technology have been about getting laid. Let's be real. The wheel, I can get there faster, babe. The sword, I can unalive your husband and get there faster, babe. I'm just kidding. I am on full tangent mode tonight, but okie dokie. Sending people to Mars. It follows the breakthrough from Mars Perseverance rover that turned unbreathable air on the planet into oxygen. Researchers also believe they have found the key building blocks for life on the terrestrial world. Another key element in or is that testing data was sent both to Earth and received in space through a process called uplinking, a laser transmitted from the DSOC telescope laboratory, and downlinking down to the Palomar Observatory. A process of sending signals back to Earth from satellites takes about 20 minutes. Look, y'all, it is science mumbo jumbo to me. I do not have the entire cast of Big Bang Theory, but there is some mathing going on here. I don't know. It was a formidable challenge and we have a lot more work to do, but for a short time we were able to transmit, receive, and decode some data. The DSOC operations lead, Mira something or other said. They're still wearing masks? Okay. Let's see. There is only one. I'm gonna count that as an IT goatee. Look, we're gonna have to call NASA and, talk to them because I only see one vaguely credible IT goatee here, and I do not feel safe. The ultimate goal is to transmit data 100 times greater than the highly sophisticated radio frequency systems used in the test. Once achieved, NASA would not only be able to aid human and robot missions, but also send higher resolution instruments into deep space for study. So there you go. We are one step closer to Starship Enterprise. In news from my hometown, Jim Irsay says the craziest things. Um, but here we go. I would like to remind everyone Yahoo, YouTube, Google, the federal agents that are listening to this, these are Jim Irsay's words and not mine. And I have no idea why Rumble isn't working. I cannot figure it out. These are Jim Irsay's words. Colts owner Jim Irsay says Carmel police profiled him for being a rich white billionaire. As it happens, you know. Now, um, Carmel, since you are not aware of it, I will explain. Carmel would be our rich, Gigi, she kinda place up in Indiana, if you will. I don't know, think of it as our well, our Rodeo Drive, if you will, if one could be had in Indiana. Keep in mind this is still Indiana, y'all. I mean, we're a we put on a lot of airs for Indiana, these people from Carmel, okay? In an HBO episode of Real Sports with Brian Gumble that airs on Tuesday night, Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay says he once went code blue after trying a homemade detox concoction of drugs and talks about the girlfriend who overdosed and died in the house he owned. He's just an all-around good guy and, we he's just a national treasure. He also says that the Carmel police officers who arrested him in 2014 were prejudiced against him because he was a rich white billionaire. Now, y'all, the diversity of Carmel would be that of, let's say, New Hampshire in a blizzard with, you know, let's say whiteout. All right, y'all, that would be our diversity. Yeah, so imagine his plight. There were protests everywhere. It was fiery, but mostly I don't even know. Irsay's revelation came in a wide-ranging sit-down interview with sports journalist Andrea Kramer. According to HBO, it is Irsay's first in-depth interview about his lifetime of struggles. Indiana Star receiving a screening of the episode, which airs Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on HBO and can be streamed on Max. Also spoke with Kramer, who said she was surprised at the access Irsay gave her team. Kramer spent nearly 6 days with Irsay. God bless you, you sweet-hearted woman. Oh God, he pulled out a guitar. Dude was flirting hard. She said she'd been asking the Colts for a sit-down interview with Irsay for 12 years. The team never said no, according to Kramer, but rather told her now is not the time. So I've contemplated why now, Kramer told the Indy Star. For whatever reason, where he is in life, he doesn't have anything to hide. Well, he's like 873. What are you gonna do? Dude has already been profiled by the cops. Poor rich billionaire, please send money. For just 23 cents a day, you can help Jim Irsay fight this injustice. I'm Sally Struthers. Just, Sarah McLachlan music in the background. Uh, he's very candid, he's very honest. I give him a lot of credit for being as forthright and cooperative as he was. "Ma'am, he was flirting with you. He got his guitar out. He was trying to flirt with you, ma'am." The 64-year-old Irsay's interview spans an array of topics, including lighthearted ones such as his love for music, penchant for collecting, and full-size hockey rink he had built on his property for his grandson. But much of his interview is deeper, focusing on Irsay's complicated childhood, his life of addictions. Irsay talks about controversial parts of his life he's rarely talked about before. Among the most eye-opening moments are when Irsay discusses the night when he was arrested in Carmel for driving under the influence. Quote, "I could give a damn what people think, how anything sounds." Again, these are Jim Irsay's words. Irsay was 55 when he was stopped in March 16, 2014, after an officer said he saw Irsay driving erratically near Horse Ferry Road and Main Street in Carmel. And let me explain. Um, Look, when they pulled his driver's license and saw it was Jim Irsay, the political pressure there was, man had to be like at point 9, 7. He had to have more bourbon than alcohol. They had to have no way to sweep this under the rug. Uh, According to case documents obtained by the Indy Star at the time, Irsay was unsteady during the arrest and had trouble standing. Two officers, quote, "continuously had to support Irsay in order to prevent him from falling over," the report said. Carmel officers who searched Irsay's vehicle said they recovered numerous prescription medication bottles containing pills, along with $29,029 in cash. As you do, I always have just, all sorts of scripts and monies, although mine's usually Tylenol and a quarter for Aldi's, but, it's live within your means. He had champagne wishes and caviar dreams. I have, great value life and Aldi dreams. Irsay pleaded guilty to one count of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, a Class C misdemeanor. He also admitted to having hydrocodone, oxycodone, and Xanax in his system. Dear Jesus, are you one of freaking narcos cocaine hippos? Giblets. Was that a low point for you? Kremer asks Irsay of his arrest. No, not really, because the rest was wrong, Irsay says. Damn profiling cops. Quote, "I had just had hip surgeries and I'd been in the car for 45 minutes and what? They asked me to walk a line? Are you kidding me? I can barely walk at all." Well, that's good. I'm glad you were just operating a car right after surgery. I mean, I know that after my spinal stimulator surgery, I was, singing the monorail song, uh, and asking if my doctor had his license in Guam or, received his doctorate in Guam. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that I should have been driving too. Yeah, no, no, it was definitely profiling your Ursaness. Oh, what in the Miami Vice am I looking at? David Why with this color suit? I know you defended what's his what's his Fluffy from Jody, but this color suit needs to be retired and then put in the pits of hell and then burnt. Look, lilac doesn't look good on men. Stop it. It's not Miami Vice. Enough. Kramer responds, "Are you saying you couldn't walk because you had hip surgery and not because you were on horse tranquilizer levels of painkillers?" To which Ursay raises his voice and emphatically says, "I'm not saying that, it's a fact." I'll take lies we tell ourselves, Alex, for 500. When Kramer asks him why he pled guilty to the misdemeanor, Ursay said he just wanted to get it over with. I'm prejudiced against because I'm a rich white billionaire. It really is a hard life. I feel look, we're having a fundraiser, Justice for Ursay. If I'm just an average guy down the block, they're not pulling me in, of course. Kramer asks Ursay, "You know what it's going to sound like if people hear you say they're prejudiced against a rich white guy?" Quote, "I don't care what it sounds like, it's the truth. You know, Andrea, I could give a damn about what people think, how anything sounds or sounds like. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I know the truth." Well, that's all the time I'm gonna give Mr. Ursay. I'm pretty sure that, that his justice will prevail for all the slights that Mr. Irsay has had to live with being a rich white billionaire. I'm sure we can all pray for justice and for this color suit to be freaking retired. What the actual Randy Savage hell? In other news, because we learned nothing from the 87,000 Jurassic Parks and their derivatives, the Texas company reviving the extinct woolly mammoth adds the dodo to its to-do list. And welcome David Umbarger and Excited and Wolfram and Squab Bob. Y'all, it's like it wasn't explained what happens when y'all try to do this by Hollywood when they were still good-ish. Remember the organization that in 2021 announced it was going to bring the woolly mammoth back from extinction? Its leaders are building a to-do list of species they hope to revive, and some of them aren't even fully extinct yet. Colosso Colossal Biosciences, the Texas-based company using genetic science to revive the woolly mammoth, announced Tuesday it will also bring the dodo back. The organization is partnering with, Maturian Wildlife Foundation to reintroduce the flightless birds to the wild. The company currently expects the first woolly mammoth calves to be born sometime in 2028 and thinks the dodo birds will be reintroduced into its once native habitat even before that. We are at the end of a glacial maximum. In fact, we are coming to an end of a solar maximum, which means that there's a couple things that could happen. We could either have, you know, the ice age come back, which means we have gone full circle back to global cooling per Dr. Spock. Well, just Spock. So when your parents were getting scared to death in school because of global cooling, we're back to that BS. All right. But we're going to reintroduce a woolly mammoth that predominantly prevailed in a cooler climate, In a climate that we are being told will resemble Tatooine in about 10 years, well, or 2 years ago per Greta Thunberg, whenever, the math and Al Gore, explainates new things. Let's continue. I'm sure this will end well. Not gonna have crazy carnivorous woolly mammoths come out because someone didn't figure out how CRISPR works. Okay. A big hairy elephant and a flightless bird whose name has become synonymous with stupidity may not sound as exciting as giant lizard predators from DNA extracted from a mosquito in amber, which Colossal CEO and co-founder Ben Lamb assured the Star Telegram would be impossible with today's technology anyway. But being thrilling in that sense isn't a goal for the brains behind the company. They believe the animals could have positive impacts on ecosystems they used to call home and even improve lives in ecosystems across the globe. No, they went extinct because the ecosystems changed. You are trying to play God. The ecosystems changed. They did not survive because they could not adapt. Now they are bringing them back to an ecosystem that is not created for them. You have very little idea what they used to eat. You have guesses, you have presumptions, but we have no idea how their digestive system actually worked. Why must I be the voice of reason? I'm a mouthy redhead who babbles on the internet and makes this. Let me show you what I made. I mean, this is what I do in my free time, and I have to be the voice of reason? It boggles the mind. True. Bring back the T-Rex. Short arms. Okay, so I know it wasn't a big hit for Disney back when Disney was good, but I loved, Meet the Robinsons, where they had the, T-Rex with the little smart hat, and you could, it would translate and write what it was thinking. It's like, "I have short little arms, I can't hold anything." Lamb and Matt James, Colossal Chief Animal Officer, told Star Telegram they've heard the Jurassic Park jokes plenty of times. Not that it'll will stop us from making a few more. No, I'm not worried about jokes. I'm worried about you guys not knowing what the F you're doing. But their end goals couldn't be further from that. I don't think that their focus was reintroducing these things, Lamb said. Steven Spielberg's blockbuster movies, the first of which lives on as a rare example of a movie being better than the book. No, did you guys read the book? The book is about not playing God with science. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something, and that just because you have this incredible genetic, you know, thing, you open a Pandora's box of ridiculousness that you cannot control. Again, I feel like I have to be the voice of reason. Did do a lot of good by inspiring generations of genetic scientists and introduced the idea to public discourse, but it didn't do as much to explore realistic, practical applications, Lamb said. If Colossal is a success in bringing back these animals, ecotourism could eventually help fund conservation efforts after they rewild them. Y'all, I am about done. Swear to God, they're going to make a Jurassic Park, and there will be no shade. I am not going. Y'all, I have seen the movie. I have seen all 14 of them. The boys love freaking y'all, I can't with Fry. What the heck, dude? Fry's like, "Mom is talking. I'm out." Yeah, we already have Australia where everything wants to eat and or kill you. Just a terrible, terrible idea. Uh, let's see. But that's not Colossal's ultimate goal. There's no intention of putting mammoths in enclosures and asking masses to pay to see them, with adrenaline high inducing possibility that they could break free and go on the rampage while you ride around helplessly in automated SUVs painted in the ugliest, most blinding shades of yellow and lime green. Now you shut your dirty whore mouths. It was the 90s and those were beautiful bright neon colors. I won't have you disrespecting my childhood neon colors, damn it. Colossal believes that the most useful practical applications for gene sequencing and reviving extinct animals will be to mend damaged ecosystems, slow or even reverse climate change. Interesting. We're gonna CRISPR the weather. Okie dokie. Develop technology to save endangered species. How to de-extinct animals, uh, and combat climate change. Woolly mammoth and the dodo were keystone species, Lamb and James say. The mammoth's feeding habits and migration patterns cleared Arctic environments of ice and prevented the growth of too many trees that today hinder the growth of grasslands. The feeding habits of the dodo, a bird extinct since the late 1600s, believed to have been about the same intelligence as a pigeon, kept the flora of the Maturis Island, about 500 miles east of Madagascar, in check. Okay. Well, I'm sure that if it were, the 1800s and the last ice age, that would have been really, really special. But unless you have Dr. Farnsworth's, you know, teleportation device, I don't know that this is a real good thing. No, I am tired of people having dumb ideas and not learning things. Again, there have been 5 Jurassic Park movies, one of them have been good. This it Michael Crichton made a very good book. I don't understand how this is so hard to understand. Mammoths belonged in the Ice Age, or at least in a glacial period. Why would you bring them back if you allegedly think we are in a global warming period? That is like bringing a super fat guy to the sauna. That is just mean. For both the mammoth and the dodo, the animal's extinction came about in large part due to human intervention. James said, now James believed Colossal has the technology to make them de-extinct. For mammoths, close relatives to the Asian elephant that could stand up to 12 feet tall and weigh as much as 8 tons, evidence in archaeology and paleontology claim or suggest that humans overhunted the animals until there were no more. While scientists do have ideas as to how the mammoths went extinct, there is unfortunately no evidence that there was ever one named Manny. Yahoo, you are not amusing. What does seem apparent is that their extinction led in part to the disappearance of the mammoth steppe that stretched during the last glacial maximum from North America across Eurasia and into modern day China. That's hilarious. I'm against it. I don't want Skynet to take over. And if we're on the timeline that leads to The Matrix Reloaded, I am all for stopping it. I mean, well, I guess if I have my choice, I'd rather be on the Terminator timeline because Sarah Connor is badass. But and welcome, fast group. The dodo okay, still, this is dumb as hell. I think this is stupid, and I totally disagree with it. If it were what about harmful consequences? Let's get to this part. Lamb and James said they're working to predict and prevent any negative impacts from the reintroduction of these keystone species to their once native environments. And they are confident they, along with ecologists, conservationists, and local governments with which they're going to work, can counter any harm that may come from it. Oh, well, governments are involved. I think everything shall be fine. All right, I'm switching over from this one. This one's pissing me off. In other news, I know I had never seen a female lead doing action stuff until I saw Jennifer Lawrence. It's very amazing. I was amazed. In other news, I have no idea why, but these two gentlemen were apparently stealing cooking oil from a diner for reasons, as you do. Pocono Township, Monroe County. No, it's just the ones where you use science for badness. I'm all for using science for goodness, but when you use science for arrogance and idiocracy, I have a real dumbness or an arrogance. When you are arrogant in your stupidity, I get irritated. 2 men were arrested after officers said they were found trying to steal cooking oil from a Monroe County diner. According to 2 Pocono Township Police Department or on Monday around 7 a.m., officers were called to an attempted cooking oil theft at the Scott Run Diner. Oh, I know, Sigourney Weaver never existed. Police said the 2 suspects were in a Home Depot rental box truck when they pulled into a parking lot of the diner, opened the oil container, and left the parking lot headed toward State Route 611. A traffic stop was conducted, and the 2 suspects, Ronnie Castillo Santos, 25, from Allentown, and Miguel Cabrero Moreno, 30, from Bronx, New York, were arrested. Police say after a search of the vehicle, 3 oil containers were found, one of which was filled with stolen oil. Also located in the vehicle were a pump, a hose, and cutting instruments. What are you gonna do with cooking oil? I mean, were we frying a lot of turkeys? Okay, I do know, a little bit of trivia from that kind of is apropos to that whole autocorrect. But apparently Sigourney Weaver refused to, ladyscape, if you will, and that was a big bone of contention, um, in Alien. I mean, I guess you could use, I guess you could make biodiesel, but don't you need a whole heck of a lot of, fuel? I mean, don't you need a whole heck of a lot of it? And that is a rope on the rug, not a poo, just letting you know. I guess so, or maybe someone really wanted, a bunch of peanut oil is expensive. We looked at getting, a turkey fryer this year, and y'all, it was hella expensive. I was not gonna spend that much for peanut oil. Wasn't gonna happen. In other news, apparently you can make money on OnlyFans and still squat in a home. An OnlyFans squatter allegedly installed a stripper pole and trashed a $900,000 home with a forged lease. Yeah, good lord. The Seattle Police Department removed 2 squatters, one of whom identified as an OnlyFans influencer. My pronouns are, um no, those are mean. I will keep my thoughts to myself, but how can I identify as an OnlyFans influencer? Fry, stop worrying the cat, who installed a stripper pole in a $900,000 home while allegedly forging a lease agreement, according to a report from KIR7. It has been a stretchful situation, the landlord of the Seattle property, Leka DeLatha, told the outlet Sunday. I just felt emotionally relieved. Not we got the squatters out, but that we're making the neighborhood safe again. What? You mean having an OnlyFans, influencer per the Slayton sisters, influencer, who put in a stripper pole might have made the neighborhood stock values go down, you say? One of the uninvited lists herself as an OnlyFans influencer on LinkedIn. Oh, dear God, please tell me she puts that in her resume typed in Comic Sans. 14 font, double bold. The couple is now gone. They left behind clothes, half-eaten cake, and a stripper pole. You know what? Throw everything else, keep the stripper pole in, sell it as a new workout room. I'd I'd buy it. I mean, I wouldn't live in Seattle, but I'd buy it. Well, and I don't have 900K, so, all things being considered. I don't know if she was planning on creating content here or what she was doing. Not take a black light into that place. Do not. It's just scary to think that that's what they were going to use the unit for, the landlord said about what she discovered in the apartment. It was an apartment, it was for $900,000 an apartment? Okay, in Seattle. Okay. They told me they were some plumbing and electrical work, so that leads me to believe they were destroying my property one room at a time. KIRO. She described how it was a real estate nightmare, discovering that a man and woman entered her vacant units, changed the law, took over. Well, think hotels or buffets. Just saying. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. And I have a I guess, holy mazzoli, Debbie W. Good lord. That's holy flamin' Cheetos right there. Yeah, there's something a little hinky with the interwebs tonight. My Rumble didn't start up. I don't know. I do know what's going on. Hello, and bronzed see, let me well, no is hook up his, new, computery thing. It might be doing from rain. So, I might out here because the internet I've got a little signal. They're saying I have no idea. Hopefully it's better. Oh, well, I did put in a stripper pole. I wonder if they used anchor screws, 'cause, never for science. Possible. You can Then neighbors to leave, she said on Instagram, outdoor trim and knows what else. Why would you things? Okay, I think Mr. Mo is working on setting up his computer, so things may have to cut fairly sooner so I can go let him 'cause his losing time and be Mr. Mo screws with the internet time. This is ridiculous. Okay. So, like, they haven't released this into the news. If anyone can tell me if they can hear me or it sound robot.